Welcome to What the Flick. It's the holiday season.
Yay!
And it's time for holiday movies. Alonso, Ben, we have not seen Annie, but Matt and Christy have, so they can tell you all about it.
That's the winning side of the table. Hasn't seen it.
It's 2 hours long, 2 hours of your life that you have, the rest of us do not. Okay, so Annie, this is yet another telling of the musical Annie, which began life as a comic strip. I think you grew up knowing the songs, and there was a charm to them and a pluck to them, and this is just shrill.
This movie sucks.
It sucks, it's shrill. The message is of materialism. It's so weird.
The worst sin that this movie does is it completely fucks the songs up. Completely.
It does, yes.
Terribly.
The songs that it maintains, yes.
Partially co-written by Sia, and I'm a huge Sia fan, and I'm really bummed out that she worked on this because these songs are terrible. It also doesn't help that half the cast can't sing.
Oh my God.
Cameron Diaz is terrible.
Cameron Diaz
Bobby
is
Cannavale, who I like,
Yes.
not a very good singer either. Everybody's auto-tuned, and even people who can sing. So Jamie Foxx, who should be able to belt these songs out, sounds like.
Is it like Mary J. Blige in School of Rock, where she gets the same crazy production treatment as the people who can't sing, so they all sound shitty?
Yeah, I guess
they
for
do.
continuity, yeah. But there are a few new songs, original songs written for this, as they always do with the Oscar push to get the original song nomination. And there's a duet between Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz, who plays Miss Hannigan, and she starts it. And then when he comes in, he just completely blows her away. It's cross-cutting between their, walking through New York and singing. It's like, oh, here's somebody who can actually sing. Her rendition of Little Girls is like cringe-inducing. She's sort of
And then they add like
talking
these
it.
pop hooks into it that it sounds terrible.
It's what she is, and is like ridiculously talented as she appered to be beyond her years in
Adele Dazeem.
What?
I said Adele Dazeem would have been great.
You would have tore that shit up. But,
Yeah,
but
she's
like,
gonna be an Angie.
Right. The convention is so cute. She was so great in Beasts of the Southern Wild. And she's given like this one note kind of cheery performance to give. And
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Ben Mankiewicz, Alonso Duralde, Christy Lemire. The Nut Job.
The Nut Job.
Animated with Katherine Heigl, who I thought perhaps had quit the business.
She's an animated squirrel and the voice of reason. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's set in the 50s, apparently, judging by the cars, and it's a bunch of squirrels and animals that live together in a park, and they realize that they have not enough food for the winter. So can they steal the nuts from the nut store across the street? Will that involve making the renegade surly squirrel into somebody who will help the collective? Or is the collective actually being manipulated? This is a crazy ass movie. Take a look.
A kid's movie. It's up here and it's wacky and everyone is totally off-putting and obnoxious and unlikable.
This movie is schizophrenic. I mean, it's a period piece, but they throw in dubstep and Gangnam Style.
In case you were not getting enough of Gangnam Style.
Yeah, yes, we get it. Korean producers on the movie, but really never put the hot song of the moment in the animated film that's going to come out like a year or two later, because by that point we will all be sick of it.
There's a giant mole who has a Boston accent, I think, just so we can say the word pack over and over again. We have to get the nuts back to the pack. We're all going to die in the pack.
and then there's this
That
whole,
is funny.
and then the dam bursts. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on in this movie. So coming off of those previous films, I was expecting to laugh 0 times. I laughed 5 or 6 times.
Oh, that's far too many.
And so I can't dump on this movie as much as I would have had it been Burt Wonderstone level agony.
This movie's terrible. I hated this movie. And part of it is just this is a movie that exemplifies the phrase "the banality of evil." Like, it's just so it's terrible.
Okay, wait, but for the ladies, here's the important question, which is, how is Chris Hemsworth?
It's kind of a one joke thing. Like if you saw the Red Band trailer, that's it. That's all there is.
But look, like if you want to see scantily clad Chris Hemsworth
with a fake dong in his
the movie,
junk,
or is it? The movie definitely delivers on that.
Yes,
Have you been reading my diary?
but it's not that. It's a whole sequence. Leslie Mann plays grown-up Audrey. She's married to Chris Hemsworth, who's like a local weatherman in Dallas. I saw it with Christy was sitting next to me, and she went to SMU, and I lived in Dallas for a long time. And when they cut to their McMansion in Plano,
She goes, that is not Dallas. But anyway,
Score.
I give it a 6, which seems, I know it seems generous, but
Who are you, Jake?
That's 1 point for each time I laugh.
You laughed 5 times.
5 or 6, it's blurry.
I give it 1 point for being in focus. This movie is worse than Pixels. There.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's worse than Pixels.
I saw Pixels. Yeah, I haven't even seen this, and
it's
that's
worse.
already
I was just thinking, which would I rather sit through again, and I honestly don't know. They're at least tied.
This is the thing about expectations. We've talked about, I think we've used this in relation to other movies. This is that puppy that that clumsy puppy that you kind of can't help but like, at least as far as I'm concerned.
But you know what though? It's not a clumsy puppy. It's a really like meticulously made and
True.
precise in tone and structure kind of puppy. But yes, a puppy. And I think in terms of like it wanting you to like it. Come
Right.
like me.
And-
Da, 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 da.
Okay, here's why you're wrong.
Give it to us.
No. This was one of those Les Miserables experiences where I was surrounded by people at my screening being all, no. And I was just going, oh, God.
I didn't cry. I'll admit that.
A lot of crying at the screening I went to. And if I had seen this movie when I was 17, I think I probably would have gone for it hook, line, and sinker. I think this movie is so lodged up its own ass and so self-conscious and so self-aware and so proclaiming itself as it goes along. I mean, every scene opens with a chyron that says, the part where blah, blah, blah happens.
Right.
And it's like,
Day
oh.
one of our doomed friendship.
Yeah,
or
it's like,
whatever
oh,
it is.
shut up, movie.
But
Just let
Rushmore
me.
does that.
Oh, but
Other movies do
Rushmore
that.
does it brilliantly, but you know what? If you don't do it brilliantly, it's annoying as fuck. And this movie is annoying as fuck. You can put that on the poster if you want. Oh God, it just drove me up the wall.
But they have some nice chemistry.
And, okay, here's an example of the bullshittery of this movie. All right, she's gorgeous, and then she goes into chemotherapy and she's bald and still gorgeous, and all she can talk about is, oh, I'm so hideous now, ugh. And then and the whole movie,
going to hell.
the whole movie, the lead guy is going, I have a weird rodent face, I'm so awful. It's like, no, you're movie star handsome.
He's not.
Everybody in this movie, shut the fuck up. You are not ugly, and if you had cast ugly people, maybe, but you are all lying to me. This movie is lying to me.
No, I would not say that they are all movie star handsome. They look like normal people, I would say.
They are attractive
She's
and
cute.
eccentric. He's eccentrically cute. She's just straight up cute. And so, yeah, I did not buy the, oh, I'm so hideous now. No.
But when
honey.
you're a teenager and you're full of angst, you think you're ugly.
I guess, but
I'm gonna give her that.
But this movie never it is so not interested in her inner life until suddenly it is, and it's like, oh gee,
And the details are very like Wes Anderson and Twee.
But
and
she
precise,
calls him
yeah.
out on that.
I'm so excited about this movie. I know America is. Great cast. Gerard Butler, Dennis Quaid, all these great looking women. Judy Greer. We love Judy Greer.
And you love soccer.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, Uma Thurman.
Yeah, and you love soccer so
Oh my
much.
God, soccer. Enough with soccer in America. Let it go. Since I was 4 years old, I've been told that all the sports I love, they're done. Soccer's coming.
It is.
Yeah,
Soccer is the metric system. Everybody else likes it. We're just never
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
get
I
it.
love soccer in Europe, soccer in South America.
provincial.
God bless. Go forward.
Africa, they're all, yeah, but just not us.
But not, it just, I mean, it was so, mostly what I thought during it, because we were at a screening where there were people who were like,
That's
hilarious.
That's
They were
exactly.
laughing.
No, she must have been a
Visceral.
fan.
Oh,
God,
God. They hire
cackling.
people to do this. Somebody did that to me at Gigli. I had a woman behind me who laughed at everything that came out of Ben Affleck's mouth, including shit happens.
Yeah, Gigli is better than this.
They hire people to do that
Well,
shit.
I'd watch Gigli again before this.
there is no amount of, she needed double time for this, but so profoundly dull. Like, I mean, just, it was, first of all, nothing sophisticated about how it was laid out. It was the easiest thing to follow in the world. You didn't need sound.
I wish they hadn't had sound.
That would have helped enormously. But I just thought, my God, it's just dull, nothing interesting happened, nothing visually interesting, and certainly
No,
nothing
and it's like,
dialogue.
this is a movie that doesn't understand the basics of how people behave, what they care about, or how they would go about their business.
But more bland than Jessica Biel is her fiance.
Oh, God.
Who apparently
Ralph Bellamy.
he has no job, he has no friends.
His name is James Tupper, and he's the guy who, by the way, does nothing except love Jessica Biel and provide for her and her kid, who she then is going to leave because of Gerard
Well,
Butler's
he's fucking boring. All he does is answer the door.
this is all he did all movie. Gerard Butler played George. Hey, George.
Right, he'll answer
Night,
the door.
George. Hey, George. Like his first 8 lines are greetings to George. This
He
poor
never
son of a
leaves the
bitch.
house. He's
Yeah.
there to answer the door
Oh
every
my
time
God.
Gerard Butler shows up. Will you please do your impression of me during the movie?
Yeah. So there was a couple times I would either go right or like ugh, like I'd have some reaction. This is Christy the whole time. Her legs are crossed.
I'm very sexy, yes.
She's watching. Her arms are folded like this, and she does this the entire movie. So every time I look, nothing except for one scene, and this is what happens when you have a child, I presume. There's a scene where Noah Lomax, who plays the cute little kid, right? He, like a father takes the kid out for a spin on the car, right? And that's a nice thing. It's usually in a parking lot. But Gerard Butler, because he's an imbecile, right?
Takes him on actual roads.
Takes him on the road, and they're clearly doing like 60
In a Ferrari.
in a Ferrari.
In a convertible.
At that point, Christy's been sitting like this. I swear to God, I looked at you 25 times. Right? And then for that scene, you were like. So that was the motherly instinct coming out. Just for that was your only emotional reaction.
Please don't crash with a small child.
Welcome to What the Flick. We're all here. That's Matt and Christy smiling, the girl, and Alonso and Ben. Finally, a movie about the DJs who do EDM music, a term I learned seconds ago.
The M is music, so
the
you
M
don't have
is
to
music.
say.
Oh,
It's like
sure.
ATM machine, the PIN number.
So you wouldn't
Or
say.
chai tea.
No, so finally a movie where we
Right,
learn
yeah,
about
that's
the
also amazing.
DJs who suffer from ED.
He might have to go to the bathroom and have trouble getting it up. I don't know, but he's Zac Efron. He's super hot. So
Wes Bentley was great.
Zac Efron is great. I think you guys all discredit
Great?
Zac Efron because he's pretty.
No, look, I got no beef with Zac Efron. I thought he was hilarious in Neighbors. I think he's done some interesting stuff. I didn't.
The Paperboy. He's good in the Paperboy.
He does what he can with the Paperboy. I didn't dislike him in this movie. I just didn't feel like it gave him a lot of stretching to do.
If you think we were biased because it's Zac Efron, then I think you're biased because you grew up in the Valley.
Well, I will say this. I said this to you: is that it gets that kind of like hot, dry kind of. You know, you live
totally.
there.
I live there now,
And the cypress trees and
Not
the
with a
power
bunch of DJ
lines.
buddies.
No, but they might be your neighbors for all you know. But it gets that look and that feel right. Like we talk about sense of place. It has a sense of place.
Right.
So
Yeah, but
We're supposed to feel like these are hard scrabble guys suffering, and I never got that. And I don't have anything against Zac Efron at all. In fact, the burden suffered by incredibly handsome men is a very real one.
the struggle
Won't you
is
please
real.
give?
How would you know?
What? No. I
would say that going back really fast, the housing crisis thing informs his evolution. Because all he's about is money.
Right.
He can make a shit ton of money doing this job, and he chooses to walk away from that to have the moral high ground that you were so condescending about him getting.
That's all it is. It's a straw man for us to go like, well, how
it's
he's
an
so
art.
great.
He changes. He changes how he is.
Listen, for the EDM version of Barton Fink, this is not a bad movie.
You know what it is?
Right? Like he doesn't listen, and then he does listen, and he turns out this great work of art.
But him listening it was dumb. It was dumb.
Go watch 32 short films about Glenn Gould. That's a more interesting version of how you listen to the world and turn it into music.
But you like process, and this song is total process.
But the song itself sucks. Like it was all process. It's not that good.
The big when the crowd gets into the song, I thought that was okay.